I liked it.
Welcome, everybody, to the special roundtable review of WandaVision. Yes, I'm Tom Connors, and with me, as always, is the boss man, Andre.
Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining us on short notice for this very special conclusion of our WandaVision live roundtables.
That's right. That, of course, is the voice of Midnight's Edge, Rob. How you doing? We also have with us one of our toxic femmes, Mandy.
Like what? Hey, you guys. I hope you all watch. I was going to try to hype up WandaVision, but I can't do it. So, hi, guys.
Are you saying it didn't live up to your expectations?
No, it did not.
Oh. And we also have from the Latino slant, Paulie. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Thanks for the invite.
And my voice is just shit, which is fine, because guess what? I didn't watch the rest of WandaVision. I canceled my Disney Plus.
You lucky bastard.
And yeah, I didn't watch it after the big reveal. I heard all the people talking about it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad. I guess I didn't waste my time. But I gotta get to hear you guys talk about it. But I asked Mandy about the expectations because, yeah, Andre, this lovely article dropped yesterday.
Yeah. And we'll talk about the article, but first I just want to take a moment to say
Matt Goldberg can shut the hell up, okay?
Yeah, we'll talk about Matt Goldberg momentarily and all the other fine folks over at Collider. But first, then, I just want to say greetings to everyone who's joining us here in the chat. Ex-Metron is expressing shock already. Collider, yeah, we'll get into that. Sander Hammerslag is quite happy that you didn't finish it through, and we'll get into that as well. HBG3 says that it's not that bad, so high praise there. Ooh, I like that little icon you got going right there. And Larry, he says the quiet part out loud that I think that many people are feeling. We'll get into that as well. Mr. Brown gives his review, which I also think that it's going to be a very popular sentiment. So yeah, and your Muslim uncle is here, and he says
Orale way.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah, thank you for pronouncing it. So I didn't have to.
I didn't go all the way with the show.
Yeah.
You didn't go all the way. Orale way.
That's good. No, I didn't.
It feels so right. Feels so right. All right.
Yeah, and we have many others joining, which we're grateful for as well. And we even have a couple of super chats that I want to just go through before we get into the main topic at hand. Nikki D starts us off with $5 saying, is there any way to gauge the viewership numbers for WandaVision? The simple answer is no, there isn't. The only thing that one can do is that you can look at like Google search metrics.
We got the paired analytics deal.
Yeah, that's all we have.
But even that, it was in third place behind Cobra Kai. And at that point, it would have been when Mandalorian was probably, already a month deep. And those two shows were beating it according to paired analytics. But again, we stress paired analytics is just an aggregator that takes like hashtags and other things.
Yeah. Just call it what it is. Parrot Analytics is a scam. Come on.
Yeah. But really, something like that is all we have to go on, because Disney are keeping those numbers tight into their chest, and I don't think they will have been happy, but we shall see. Culture Casino says for $5, thank you so much. So many missed opportunities. The Force is female crap all over again. So the trends went downward for Marvel when Star Wars dropped Gina. MCU now, indeed. And he also says for another $2, did you all notice the Geode cameo in several episodes?
Mandy, did you hear me lose it?
I got a rock.
No, did you?
Yeah, I lost. I was laughing uncontrollably when I saw.
We put up the reaction right away. I think
speaking of that reaction, Andre, where's the Charlie Brown clip?
It didn't fit. I wasn't able to make it work.
Come on, I am the Phantom Menace's Charlie Brown. For fuck's sake. I got a
That
rock.
is, how are they going to add a rock? How a rock? Are you kidding me? What happens when paper shows up?
You know,
what are they going to do?
I almost wished the other night because I had shaved everything down, so I was like, I'll shave for Friday Night Tights. I wish I'd have thought about it. I'd have went and given myself a little curly Q on my head and sat there all night like Charlie Brown, just like
that would have been something.
Hold on. Oh, I got the Charlie. You seen the Charlie Brown T-shirt? I wore that at
yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I wish I had one, but yeah, like I'd be like fat old Charlie Brown. I'd put a YouTube channel out. I'd be like, this is what fucking happens, kids.
And then Polaris Sucks says for $2 Canadian, great content as always, Midnight's Edge. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
And Jaegerbomb 2 says for $5, get woke, go broke might be true. Yet these communists, SJWs, only want to destroy everything and turn the USA into the USSR. Yeah. How do we stop this?
Well, there is no USSR anymore, so you have to call Doc Brown and the Time Machine. So,
yeah. Well, I don't want to go quite into how to stop that, but
think of all those gold medals in Olympic hockey, though. I mean, that's no, never mind.
Doc, we need a time machine to go back to the USSR.
Marty, you want to win the gold medal? We beat the Russians in 1980, Marty.
No, he'd be more like, hokey dokey. Wrong character, but that's about how crazy that sounds.
Erased from existence.
Erased from existence. And Culture Casino says, or asks rather, did you guys know that Mandy has a new comic book?
What?
Like, what?
Really?
Thank you.
Yeah, Mandy, tell us about it. What's this all about?
So, yeah, my new comic book, Wart the Wizard 2 Portal of Echoes, is available on Indiegogo, you guys. So if you have not went and checked it out, and you are a fan of D&D and old school, like, retro games like King's Quest and games like that, definitely go check out Wart the Wizard, please. Love you guys. Like, what?
Like, I totally, like, Andre, that's half the reason I'm broke this month, because between Mandy's book, the Phantom Menace edition of Stealing Solo, and a couple other things, it's just like, bam, bam, bam. But yeah.
And your TV. Let's
that don't count. That's worth this. That's, as the song goes from Elton John. Well, that's no sacrifice. That's right. No, it is.
Indeed.
Oh my God. It's a beautiful television though. You know what's pissed though? I can't use the 120 hertz for watching movies. Like, that's pointless.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I think it's just for games anyway.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what that means, so I wanted to sound like I was really like,
I know. Yeah, like, what? Like, what? But no, we'll try and get your link in the chat for the new comic book, and you've got some other books out there as well, like Hardcore Pornosaur. Check that out.
Yes, my Dino Erotica, Hardcore Pornosaur, is another classic.
Absolutely. And Felicity Poubelle sent in a super chat, says, your WandaVision theory sucked. Signed, Ryan. Oops, Kevin Feige.
No. Well, what if you're like me and had no theories, so and still hated it?
Yeah, let's get into it. Before we talk about how much we all hated it. Stephen Otten says, yeah, well, we'll get into all the remaining super chats, but before we get into what we think now after having seen it, since we haven't done live reviews of the last few episodes. We started like the first 3-4 or something, and then Gina Carano got fired, and I think that then we kind of lost interest in WandaVision for a while there, and I don't think that we were unique. I think that Disney will have seen a huge slump in viewership for WandaVision right around that time. But now let's pretend that didn't happen. Go back in time to before the beginning. How excited were you all for WandaVision going into it? Mandy, start us off. How excited were you going into WandaVision before having seen any of it?
Okay, originally I was skeptical. at best, I wanted it to be good, but with the path that Disney has been taking, I was kind of like, well, I'll give it a chance. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. So.
Yeah. And Polly, how about you? How excited were you going into WandaVision?
Well, I was excited. I'm an Elizabeth Olsen fan, and I had really liked the trailer that they dropped. You know, the trailer was like, I had no interest at all before. Then when the trailer dropped, I was like, okay, well, this is definitely different. So, you know, you got me. You have my interest. So, yeah.
Yeah. And as for me, I wasn't excited at all going into it. Like, really, the only project related to the MCU that I'm excited for right now is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Or at least I used to be interested in that one. Now, I don't know, we'll get into that. But I was intrigued by the first few episodes, and we'll see afterwards how that held up. But going in, Rob, how excited were you?
Not very excited going in. I was like, I was trying to give it a chance, and then going into it, I'm like, do I have to watch it? Okay, maybe I could speed it up and pretend I'm watching Benny Hill. Okay, but it's still it didn't help. But we'll get into that.
Yeah. And Tom, how about you? Before any of the drama, before having seen anything, how excited were you going in, or even the first few episodes?
It was one of those that at first I was kind of like, you know, this could be some not really that interested in. But then we saw the trailer, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I kind of digging on this a little bit more. First two episodes, first two episodes, because we got 2 episodes right away, I was kind of meh on, lukewarm. Third episode, I was just like not really that interested in, I think. And then wasn't it the 4th episode I think it came around in, and that was the Quicksilver episode, and that's when all the drama happened. So at that point I was on board with the show. But then you know, I canceled my Disney Plus, and I have had no desire whatsoever to watch this show ever since then.
So you stopped it after 4 or after 5?
Which one was it the Quicksilver was in? That was the last episode I watched.
That was 5.
I think that was
okay, so
five.
then between episode 4 and 5, I was back on board. Yeah, because 4 was the one where we finally got answers. So between 4 and 5, I was back on board. And then from then on out, I have not seen any episodes.
You saved yourself a Game of Thrones proportion of epic endings. So you did good by stopping.
Brother.
Yeah, with that, let's now jump right ahead towards the very end, because honestly, we could analyze back and forth what happened and the reveals and the build, but who the hell cares? Let's just go straight to the end and put this thing out of its misery.
Go right for the throat.
Go right for the jugular. Mandy, what are your feelings having seen the whole thing, having seen all 9 episodes totaling almost 6 hours of playing time? Was it well worth the time?
No, not even a little bit. So at first it was okay. I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I was like, okay, all right, I'm digging the 50s vibe. I'm digging the commercials. I liked how it was changing. But then it got near the end and they revealed the bad guy. Now, there are so many characters they could have pulled in to be like the villain. And we get Agnes? Are you shitting me? That's what I get is like their version of Miss Kravitz. And then like the episode before the last one, they did this whole, it reminded me of that old show, Happily Ever After. With the really generic conversations, it just felt like a soap opera, like a really bad soap opera, though, like not even a good, like clever one. No, it just ended up being lackluster at the end. It was just like,
Yeah, so you weren't won over by the fact that It was Agatha all along.
Agatha, that's right. Yes.
Didn't you feel like, whoa, this was a stunning reveal? It was, what's her name again? Agatha Harkness or something? Have you not wanted to see her in live action your entire life?
No, that was. There were so many good people they could have used, and they didn't. And it's just.
I've read Marvel comics all through the 80s and 90s, and I never fucking heard of Agatha Harkness till now. I'm like, what the fuck?
I had no idea who she was. Not a clue.
For God's sake, it was Agatha Harkness. Oh, I can't believe it. Shut up. You don't have no idea who it is. I don't have any idea who it is.
Well, I mean, there's a
if I don't know who this character is, then how could anybody else know?
Here's my question, because since I didn't watch it, and I want to just ask, did you guys feel like it was re-edited or something was changed since there was a bunch of those toy leaks and all that kind of crap? Because like they were talking, the whole Mephisto thing, like he wasn't technically in the show, but he was there in like the wallpaper or something like that. You said, Andre?
Yeah. There was a Mephisto cameo, actually. It was like in the episode when they're like at this fair. You know, like those stupid blow-up dolls? There was a Mephisto blow-up doll in there. So that's how he was in the series, by way of a blow-up doll.
There's some there. I haven't watched it, so like I can't really comment from here.
That's just an Easter egg, though. Just like Phineas Horton's synthetic man was at the Stark Expo in Captain America: First Avenger. That's just an Easter egg. That's a throwaway.
Yeah. Paulie, how do you feel about the series now when it's finished, and how excited were you by the reveal that it was Agatha all along?
Well, it's hard to believe that it was nine episodes, but they're all pretty short episodes, so that makes sense. I mean, it really just should have been a movie, or like 3 or 4. Like a mini limited series, and 4 to 6 episodes maybe. You take all that out, and then perhaps you got some riveting storytelling, because you had some really good actors. I really love those actors. Agatha, the one playing Agatha, of course, Elizabeth, and
she was really good. I will say she was
Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, she did
Catherine
amazing.
Hahn is just
Yes, there's no shade on her in any way. I thought that she was amazing.
Well, she was amazing. It's just when you have a world where you could bring in Mephisto and you bring in her, it's like really. So I think that was what it was with me. Is I was expecting something, and I got this character that I've never heard of and I don't know anything about. And the lines were so cringe. Oh my gosh. It was cringy watching the episode before last.
Right. Oh, well, they were really like, especially like those last 2 episodes were just one long episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they picked up from the end of episode 8. It was like, why did you even do that? And could have edited out a bunch of other garbage, but so imagine if these great actors actually had some great lines to say. I think there was maybe one great moment where it was Vision versus Vision, and they were talking to each other. That was an excellent scene.
I agree. That was the best scene of the entire series, when you had the 2 Visions discussing this thought experiment of the ship and what is the real ship afterwards, paralleling their own situation. That was fantastic. That was a highlight. But beyond that, I honestly feel like cheated, because like this was 9 episodes, almost 6 hours worth of playing time. Mm-hmm. Did this really need to be 6 hours? Surely you could have told this story in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
And you would have been better off for it. So, and what I thought was the worst of it? Not only was there no Skywalker moment that we were teased by Paul Bettany himself, I'm sure that people were angry with him for that. But what was worse is that it actually made me less interested in the MCU going forward. Because like the one thing that we had to look forward to, at least from my point of view, is the whole cracking open of the multiverse, that we're gonna get like the various Spider-Man and all stuff like that. We first got like the tease of that in Spider-Man Far From Home, when you had like what looked like was Mysterio coming from another dimension, from another parallel universe. But as it turned out, no, there was no parallel universe. It was just like a Stark employee that faked the whole thing. No parallel universe. And then here we were led to believe that the Quicksilver we saw was the same Quicksilver as in the X-Men universe, plucked right out of the X-Men universe. Now, there was some promise. That was exciting. But nope, they threw cold water all over that idea. That was just some random schmuck living there, probably imbued with super speed by Agatha, since she did it the whole thing all along.
I warned everybody. It's not who you think it is. It's not who you think it is. I
remember
you
saying that now. Yeah, you did.
I fucking warned everybody. Oh no, they're gonna totally cross over, man. It's gonna be a crossover. It's the multiverse, man. I fucking warned all of you.
Yeah, so far you are right. But again, that's a very hollow victory, because again, the one movie I was looking forward to here was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But what we're seeing so far is there is no multiverse. So, like, if as Tom speculated, that movie is really just about Doctor Strange fighting multiple manifestations and like skins that Wanda puts on top of our reality, then who the hell cares? That kills my excitement dead right there.
This just confirms what I've been saying all along. The MCU is now left. You have no Cap. You have no Iron Man. I mean, you have all the big guns Thor. Come on, they're gonna broom Thor aside. We know in this next movie, we are left with the practice squad. Yes, we have Spider-Man, but that's only for one more movie. But these are the bench warmers they're sending in. I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't get angry. I'm saying, fuck, I'm gonna get angry. Okay, you know what? And now the MCU is the MCWU. Okay, this whole thing. She tortured and held an entire town hostage for a month. And they just said, we're sorry, Wanda.
And she walked away.
You're just stunning and brave. Oh, shucksy doodles. We wish there was something we could do. Bye, Z's. What
she
the
walked
fuck?
Away.
That is kind of how that played out, isn't it? She did just kind of,
The one guy who tried to stop her, they arrested him.
And he was right all along.
You're right.
He was right all along. And someone pointed this out in a super chat. I'm going to see if I can find that one right there. We'll get through all of the other ones. I just want to highlight this one because it's so true.
Victor Domachev, you haven't heard me go full on rage yet.
Michael von Doom, he pointed out that Wanda was the villain. Haywood was right. He was completely right the whole time. How was he the villain? How the hell is he in handcuffs by the end? I mean, what were the charges? You are too efficient at your job, and for this you must be arrested. You're a white man.
Yeah, you wanted to arrest and take down a stunning and brave woman. That was the charges.
Well, and then also too, like for her to like have Vision just stay there with the kids. I'll go and fight this woman who has a lot of power over me because of the hexes and the curses, which won't have any effect on Vision because he's Vision. It would, if you want to go fight, it would stand to reason. Like, Vision, come with me and let's go kill this sucker real quick.
Does anyone feel that this was edited backwards? No, seriously, because they just spent this entire finale trying to fill in the gaps of saying, oh, wait a minute, we forgot to explain how this happens. Fuck, I threw in an extra scene.
Yeah.
It
got worse and worse towards the right. It got really lame towards the end. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and unless they bring in like some kind of big bad like Galactus or Doctor Doom, I mean, you know, just
You know
no,
what?
don't
I
even.
would have settled for. I would have settled for Mephisto. I would have settled for the real Mephisto because I was kind of like teased and stuff. I was waiting for him to show up, and when he didn't, when really it was just her, my disappointment is immense.
Yep. Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole thing, like I said, you know, you make Kat Dennings. I liked Kat Dennings' character from Thor, from the first Thor movie. Okay, Darcy, but she was just annoying. Okay, now she was just really annoying, and like I said, you know what? They aren't gonna allow a woman to be the villain. Oh, they're setting up Wanda to be the villain. No, they are not going to allow a woman to be the villain in the MCU.
That is true. That is,
yeah.
You are, and anyone who thinks Wanda's going to become the villain, you are deluding yourself. Victoria Alonso and Kevin Feige will never allow it. She will probably, they're going to set her up to be the most powerful person in the MCU, but she'll lead the Avengers and she'll probably take down Galactus or whatever, or even at the very least Terrax.
Well, what about the whole? I was say, what about the whole lore theory that people have?
The lore theory.
That the one who actually was doing this was her doppelganger, and Mephisto also could still be behind it all.
I'm like, what does Brett Spiner have to do with anything? Lore? I mean, what's going on?
No, WandaVision's doppelganger.
Doppelganger? That sounds dirty. Did she get?
Yes, it does, Rob. But don't try looking up doppelganger. Well, you just get twin porn.
Okay.
Is that really what they're gonna do?
I have no idea. I'm just going off what people are saying.
I don't think so. But for everyone who says, well, how would they go to arrest her? I'm like, but the thing is, she didn't even feel any sort of. She did feel slight remorse, but she.
No, it was a selfish remorse. She felt, like she's losing. She lost her kids.
She was,
She lost her. She only did the right. She barely did the right thing, which was that she released everyone from bondage.
Yeah.
She released 3,000 people, or how many thousands of people from bondage.
Yeah.
Good job.
No. Listen, I know these people. I've tortured these people. These people had nothing to do with it. They're innocent victims. I'm ready to face consequences for my actions. No, nothing.
So it's as bad as Discovery in Smallville. Then you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that would have been cool if she's like, take me away.
And for anyone who says, well, how would they imprison her? They built the fucking raft in Civil War, the superhero prison. What do you mean, how? She was in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
She did pretty much just screw all those people over, and then she's like, I've suffered enough, deuces, and then she just flew off.
Oh, she tortured them.
Isis, girlfriend.
She tortured them. They were living her pain.
Yeah, they were in pain.
Day in and day out. Which I kind of like. I kind of like that setup, right?
Okay, so I got to know, what's the deal with the kid being in a room for like 8 days or 8 weeks or some shit like that? Somebody brought up. I heard.
Okay, so I didn't really understand this, but I guess they had brought up in one of the episodes that there was no kids in the town. Apparently, they were explaining where the kids were, and the parents were. She had all the kids locked up in a room, like Flowers in the Attic style, where they couldn't come out. So even the kids were like being imprisoned in this town.
And this is what I was afraid of from the start. You guys remember? I said I'm afraid they're setting this up as her being the villain, and I'm not going to like how it ends. I'm glad I didn't finish watching this.
No, you did good or not.
But the thing with Agatha is like they were trying to make the, because I was listening to someone talk about it on a whole, woman's power, almost feminist point of view, where she was like, well, Agatha wasn't a bad person too. She was this kind of woman and that oppression and I was like, what the fuck? What are you guys talking about? Like someone help me out there with that.
I just want to see Catherine Hahn. I saw Catherine Hahn and Mrs. Fletcher. Let's just see her do. Let's get down with another woman and some guy in it like she did in that. Please just erase the memory from this. Okay, I want to forget this as soon as I can. But we're stuck. This is it. This is what we're stuck with going forward from now on. They're gonna. This is CW level shit. Feelings in bedrooms, feelings in hallways, feelings in laboratories. I mean, This is what we're fucking stuck with. And you think the Eternals is going to be any different?
No.
The Eternals is going to lay bare what they're shaping up the entire MCU to become. Shang-Chi, you know what? Oh,
it's been critically praised, which is really strange.
WandaVision?
Yeah,
because they don't want to admit to themselves that it's bad.
These are the same people though that said that what movie was it that they were saying it's the best movie of 2021, and it wasn't. It was crap too, but I can't remember what it was. It was at the beginning of the year. Harley Quinn, and they were saying it's the best like comic book movie of.
Right. No! I know what you're talking about. It was Birds of Prey, and they were talking about how it was the highest grossing comic book movie of the year in a year where nothing else came out.
Nothing else came out except for Sonic the Hedgehog, which was a comic book.
Technically, but it was a video game first. Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's the
lovely Eternals. A hell of a lot better as well.
Have you even seen this yet, Andre?
What, Eternals?
This thing here, yeah. This is it. This is official.
That's official.
That's official.
That is horrifyingly bad.
Are you serious? Like seriously?
I'm dead fucking serious.
What is that?
That gives me flashbacks to the Inhumans.
Yeah.
This looks like
That looks cheap. That looks so.
You know what?
Cheap.
I wish that this movie could have gone to theaters in a full wide release, so that it could have flopped spectacularly. Because I guarantee you, it would have, and Disney would have needed that flop. Because right now they can hide it behind Paramount Plus. Seriously, that movie needed to tank. And I don't even care about seeing it. You can just tell from that imagery, from the designs and everything like that. It looks, seriously, it looks like something. Yeah. It looks like something that you would have expected Daniel Kibblesmith to come up with.
No, is this for real? This is a serious question. Is this a kids movie?
I don't know. I don't know.
Looks like a kids movie.
I don't know.
This is the one that's supposed to have the first open
openly
LGBTQ
gay,
or whatever. Yeah.
It's got to be that little one then.
Well, I think it's supposed to have. Like,
I think that's a kid
or something.
I think that's a kid.
That is a kid. Yeah. And I was one of the ones who said a number of years ago, I think Marvel's going to do an Eternals movie, and everybody laughed. And I was like, well, you know, I still think they're going to do it. And damn it, I did not want to be right like this.
Well, here's the funny thing: is this is the first actual look we've gotten of this movie. This is the thing. This movie's been done for a while. We have not seen one bit of it.
Right.
They're hiding it.
I think so, Rob. And here's the other thing: is I think this is just like the Inhumans, where they were going to try and set this up as like they're X-Men, but then in the mix of all this stuff, they actually got the X-Men back.
You know, if they really wanted to sell it, man, is put Salma in the middle, right up front and center.
No
baby.
shit.
Come on.
Well, she's probably not in the movie that much. That's why.
Put Salma Hayek where Token Asian guy is here, and just move him to the back. You know.
Well, I see two Asians though, actually.
Well, it's like fucking Captain Planet and the Planeteers here. I mean, what the hell?
It looks like a bad kids Planeteer movie. You're right.
It's bad, but they put them there the way they did, so it would be easier to remove people when they send the posters over to China, right?
Oh,
so it's funny. Easier to.
And this like Adam Driver 2.0 looking motherfucker back here, you know. I mean, Wait, what's his deal?
Look at the body language with the two little ones on each side. It's really strange. Really, like, it's really I'm really like,
you know, I'll trade it for these Eternals any day. I guess I'll go with these guys.
That's where I saw this. I actually seen this.
I'm still like Quarterback Garrett and I are just both like, why do we got boobs? But Odin's back there enjoying his because he's got Selma's. So
he's got Selma's.
Yeah, so he's just all like, hell yeah, look at my tits.
Got like probably the greatest set of boobs for any 54-year-old woman.
Sake, man.
God bless Selma.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, this is hilarious. This is pretty good.
Odin's enjoying his Selma.
He's enjoying them. Well, he's just like, guess what, guys? I get to see what Selma Hayek's boobs look like. You know,
well, he's the only one happy in that one, really.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I'm just like, why do I have boobs? And Quarterback Garrett's just like, what is that up there?
Well, it looks like, it looks like you're on. You know, all due respect, it just looks like you just, you know.
I might have farted. I don't know. That's right. Look at my legs. I might have. I'm squatting.
See, you see, Gary's holding on to one. He's desperately holding on to one.
They should have put some dildos in his hands.
He's like, don't.
Right,
fall.
that's what it's
or
missing.
shake weights. Shake weights. That would have been
Yes, shake weights. Yes, that's what's missing there.
We
he
missed
needs
the
something
shake
in his
weights
hand.
in the Coming to America review yesterday.
There was a few bits here and there
that was a good bit.
That was a good bit. But again, it's like some of that stuff. I'm just like, I don't know about this. It almost feels a little too racy for me.
But see, both seem really jokey. Like here's the FNT one, and then the real one is kind of a joke too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even jokey. It's just it looks cheap. It looks like
cheap.
a late
and this
80s
is for a
superhero
calendar, but still.
Just like
are there any more?
What Mandy said, like these are really easy, interchangeable.
Are there any shots of the Eternals in this calendar? I mean, are those available?
This is all we got. I guess this either leaked out or was put out by like something, or it was on like a store. Somebody found it like 2 weeks ago.
For a movie that's been done and just in a can for a while, there's no trailer, there's no behind the scenes footage, there's nothing.
Well, they'll use the coronavirus as an excuse.
Still, I mean, but
where does this fit in? Because we never hear about them. All we ever hear about is like WandaVision. To get back on that, is supposed to be leading up to Doctor Strange and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff sucks, man.
Like
WandaVision and then this shit. I mean, this is lame. This is awful.
Like I said, this is the practice squad. This is the practice squad. Yeah, and for anyone in the audience out there unfamiliar with football or American football, the practice squad is the guys who are not good enough to make the regular team, and so they just run plays against them to practice
scrimmage.
to scrimmage for the next week's game.
Mm-hmm.
The B team, Natasha, the B team.
Yep, the bench warmers.
I would say definitely bench warmers.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little bit of hope. Yeah, who cares? Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care about a single one of these projects right up until Doctor Strange. That's like the first one that I care about, even in the slightest. But with this, with how bad WandaVision was, with like how frustrating it was in the end, it made me less excited for Doctor Strange.
Who wrote that episode?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I mean, because if this is the level of writing we can expect going forward,
I'm sure that the way Kevin Feige does this shit is he just kind of structures out a story idea and then he just gives it to his writers and they go. Because from what I've been told from some inside people, especially those who work in effects and stuff, is they don't know a lot of this shit till the last minute. Like they get sent something and they have no clue half time what it is, and they all get it all sent at once. And then it's like, this shot needs to be done by such and such date, and then it has all the information and whatever. And they don't get told ahead of time what stories are and stuff. Kevin Feige, I'm told, keeps a lot of shit really close to the chest.
This could have been done. If anyone out there has seen Sherlock, this could have been done Sherlock style when you had 3 90-minute episodes. This could have all been tightened up.
It should have been.
Yeah. This could have all been tightened up. A lot of the extraneous crap could have been paired off. And no, Matt Goldberg, it is not because my own personal fan theories.
Down, dog, down.
Tom,
let Andre get to some super chats, and then you can tear Matt apart all you want.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do some super chats first because we really want to hear.
I just wanted
what
to
you guys have to say about all of this as well. We're like, I really want to hear because does everyone hate it as much as we do? That's like because really, this is my. This I don't know which is worse, this or Captain Marvel, but
Captain Marvel is worse. It is absolutely worth that. At least the actors and actresses in WandaVision were good.
Yeah, you're right. This is only the second worst.
Right. Bad writing, great, actors, not.
I mean, there was even. I would say of all this, 6 hours, there was like a good half hour, 40 minutes of
I agree with that. I agree. And honestly, I think if they would have just dropped them all at one time, I wouldn't be so negative towards it. But they drug this shit out for like what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever.
Yeah.
They drug it out so long that by the time it got to the end, I really wanted them to bring something, and then they didn't. But if they would have just dropped them all at once, might not have been so bad.
Yeah, we kind of said that from the start. This is one of the few times where I think the binging model or just dropping them as movies or whatever would have worked better. And there's a few people in the chat who have said they've liked it, but for the most part, I'm gathering it's been like, 80% of the audience wasn't too impressed, it seemed like. And 75% roughly.
I hate saying this, but Robert Meyer Burnett said, Rob, when this is all said and done, you're going to say, wow, that was incredible. Rob, I'm sorry, but
I tried to get some people on who even liked the show. So, because I think Robert Meyer Burnett did end up liking the show. And there was a few other people, but I didn't hear back from them. But so, I mean, there are people out there, but they're a few and far between. And yeah.
Well, I'm wondering, the ones that liked it, did y'all watch it all at one time, or did you watch it weekly as it came out? Because I really feel like that's what really hurt the show. Like, I feel like if I would have watched it all at one time and just binge watched it, I may not hate it as bad as I do. So I'm wondering.
Know, man. I saw like the last half. I binged it because I was turned off because of the whole Gina Carano thing, just like with Tom. But I didn't like. I like the series. I didn't like half of it. So I don't know. Again, it's like,
yeah.
I didn't hate it. Yeah, I hated Captain Marvel. I really hated Captain Marvel.
I
don't know if I hated this.
Well, Captain Marvel, they had to resort to some fuckery in order to claim that was a in order to claim that was a success, But this is just, and that they tried to hide behind it as a movement. I'm like, there's no hiding this. Really, there isn't.
Well, let's get to some super chats here, and then we'll get into this whole article here.
Going on here.
Yeah, let's do that. So, super chats. Stephen Otten said for $5, "Hail Midnight's Edge and everyone in the chat. WandaVision? What's that? Hashtag cancel Disney Plus." I think we'll be seeing a lot of that. And Planar Aspect says for $5, "I enjoyed WandaVision's broad strokes plot, but some of its detail were bad. Appreciated a story where the hero actually experienced loss, at least." And Andres Fernandez says, "WandaVision. I feel thin, sort of stretched, like butter scraped over too much bread. Good concept, but missed chance. Doctor Strange, Mephisto, where? Monica and Darcy were cringe."
See, yes.
Spread that butter.
Yeah, and Doyle Hargrave says for $2, "POS finale and that bad wig and suit, what a waste." Sister Harrow is up and about and sent us a $5 Australian super sticker, so thanks for that.
Good day.
Says, "Hey everyone." Thunderstorm says, "I liked Wanda as a character. I liked episode 9. I hate the idea Wanda would still be a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., Sword, Stark. Tell me again how Hydra is evil." And then says again, "Please press the like button." Yes, wise words. Everyone do that. And then we have Mexican Iron Man, who says for $9.99, muchas gracias. "Hail all. Didn't get sucked into Wanda crap-o-vision, because, well, all things Disney suck these days. P.S. Buy Warthog and hashtag Spidey Mexican Lives Matter." So, yeah.
I think it means Speedy.
Oh, yeah, of course, Speedy. Yes,
Yeah,
Speedy. Yeah, because that's been cancelled now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
They canceled him again?
What's wrong with Speedy?
Yeah, they're after him again.
Okay, there was an op-ed by Chuck Blow in Chuck M. Blow in New York Times where he goes after Pepe Le Pew and Speedy Gonzalez. And
Well, we all know Pepe's a little rapey, but still.
Yeah, I think I can kind of like see Pepe, but what's the problem with Speedy?
Called him a corrosive stereotype. This is a character that's beloved, right? Beloved. So you got this Speedy Gonzalez trending yesterday, and I just did a quick little live stream where everyone was like, "We love him, we love him." Like I was just reading these tweets.
We had this conversation
from Latinos all over the place. Then Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy, tweeted, and he said,
"Damn,
why y'all trying to come after? I'm the voice of Speedy in the new Space Jam movie.
Yeah.
Cancel culture cannot catch up to me. I'm the fastest mouse in Mexico." He said it was badass, man.
Well,
so
we had this conversation. Remember, Paulie? Like 2-3 weeks ago when you had told me that Fluffy was doing the voice, and I was like, well, that makes sense. But I'm like, I remember the blowback wasn't so much from Speedy; it was from Slowpoke. And I think
even Slowpoke was, yeah, right. We said maybe with Slowpoke, but not Speedy. Speedy was always had was always, he was clever too. You know. There's been a huge reaction in the not just Latinos all over the world, but like big upswelling. And the fact that Gabriel Iglesias spoke up and did a nice tweet, man,
good for him. I like
correct Fluffy. Me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Mel Blanc have a Latino background?
Well, he was the first to voice him, but he wasn't the only one, right?
No, I know, but still, like, I
don't know Mel's background, but he's always sounded pretty legit when he was doing the epa. Some very well-known Latino comedians and actors since then have done his voice, and now it's Gabriel. Before Fred Armisen did it, and Eugenio Derbez is going to do it. He's a great comedic actor from Mexico. Here, I'll put his tweet in the private chat, guys. That's the tweet from a Fluffy. So that's where Iron Man was saying.
I see. I see. Well, I had no idea.
I'm sorry, he was Russian Jewish. My bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was a great voice actor. But yeah, it all happened last night, Andre. So that's probably why you missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And he added the little. That's awesome.
Isn't that dope?
Yeah, that's cool.
Imagine if all our leading actors, and Gabriel has a hit on the Iglesias show on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Imagine if all those guys stood up all at once and said, "Fuck cancel culture." Excuse my language, guys. I'm sorry, but
I know. Wouldn't that
would be
amazing?
So,
yeah.
What the fuck do you mean? Watch your language.
I know. I don't think I've cursed yet here on the channel. I don't know. Forget it.
Speedy forever. Hippa.
Oh, hippa.
Hey, Soul Assassin.
Soul Assassin. Yeah. So that was a hubbub there, Andre.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Well, not cool that Speedy's being cancelled. I'm completely against that. I mean, let's.
Yeah.
This is like the third or fourth time he's been canceled.
It's not going to happen. You're not going to cancel him.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how cushy your life must be if you, like, your big problem when you wake up is like, oh, that Pepe Le Pew's running around again. I mean, holy shit.
Well, not to stick up for Pepe, but part of the joke is he always wants her, and then when it turns around and she wants him, he always gets cold feet and runs scared.
Right.
He's all play and no game.
Well,
and but with Speedy, here's the thing: they seriously succeeded in canceling him a couple times now. He is nowhere to be seen really in Space Jam. And if there's any character who would have actually been good at playing basketball, it would have been
Speedy. He would have been amazing.
Well, and here's the thing.
Speedy alley-oop.
Here's the thing, because I was reading another article by a very young Latina journalist for some very kind of woke Latina publication. And I always like reading as much as I can, where these different opinions come from. And from what she was saying to what Chuck Blow was saying was that the accent is so cringe and stereotyped.
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys, but that's how some Mexicans have an accent when they speak English.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they didn't make him out to be this, he it's not like he was a criminal. He was an amazing hero.
Yeah, he literally was a hero. How is that a bad stereotype?
Because they're saying the voice, the voice, just like when Rob does.
Hey, Holmes, what are you talking about the voice, man?
Oh, no.
What's wrong with my voice? What's wrong with my voice, man?
That smells like Maui Wowie, man.
Oh yeah, man, we got the Maui Wowie,
They should have totally have like Cheech doing Slowpoke's voice.
Speedy.
Yeah, like he's high all the time.
Right.
What you doing, man?
That would have been a little hard to get over, but there's so many redeeming qualities about Speedy Gonzalez. I don't get it. And we have accents. People that learn English as a second language, you have an accent. Andre has an accent.
This to be true.
Everybody has an accent.
Everybody has an accent.
Coming from somebody who is a semi-professional voice artist, and Rob can probably back this up too. Mm-hmm. Accents are very musical, and that's why we love them. That's why people love hearing Andre talk, and Paulie has a bit of an accent too. Well, Mandy has a Southern accent, and that's nothing to do with her race. It just has to do with her location, and even really Paulie's doesn't either. It just has to do with where he was brought up. And that's what's so silly about the whole stupid thing, is it has nothing to do with anything more than, who you listened to growing up and where your vocals took form when you're a young child, and from that point on, that's your accent.
Shane is offended by your accent.
Yeah, Shane's offended by. Damn it, Shane.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best.
Whenever I hear like someone an actor try to a British actor or Australian try to do a quote unquote American accent, and I would say, well, what type of American accent are you doing? Are you just doing like California? Are you doing New York? Are you doing transatlantic? Are you doing
Atlantic?
Are you doing like Midwest? Are you doing Southwest? There's all different types of accents here, guys. If you're like the California accent, it's more like Ryan Johnson. Hey, people love my movie. Yeah, that's right.
Really weird way of talking. I hate listening to Ryan Johnson talk.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
what, Mandy?
but the whole thing, I always hear about. As I said in the chat just a few seconds ago, I always hear about cancel culture. The people who defend it, or the people who say they take up these causes. Well, I always say it doesn't solve anything. We have real problems. It doesn't solve. What we do here is fun. We acknowledge that. We get kind of passionate about it. But trying to cancel Pepe Le Pew or Speedy Gonzalez, it doesn't solve any real problems. And the defense I get is, well, we could focus on more than one thing at a time. I'm like, nobody's disputing we could walk and chew gum, okay?
Well, why isn't anybody saying the truth here? And that is maybe the French need to be a little less rapey.
Oh.
When I went to
that was a joke, kids. Laugh. God.
When I went to Sweden for the first time, I said, somebody asked me, how do you like it? How do you like it here in Stockholm? I said, I like it fine. I'm kind of relieved, actually. A lot of people don't have a problem with me being an American. And it says, well, why would you have a problem? Because, it's not a good time for us. This is in 2008. Okay. It's not a good time for us, the news and everything. And this very nice lady said, no, we like Americans just fine. It's the French we can't stand. And I said, our countries have so much in common.
No, I don't hate the French at all. I'm just goofing around.
Yeah.
Script is a good, every Canadian I've met has been a really good sport about it too, because we always goof on Canada, and so anyhow.
Times have changed. Our kids are getting worse.
All right,
all from Mexican Iron Man's super chat.
Should we blame the images on TV?
That's our buddy, though. That's
Tom. Should we blame the images on TV? No, blame Canada.
Blame Canada. Before they think of blaming us.
Yeah. But before anyone blames anyone, we have a couple of more super chats to go through. Felicity Poubelle says for $5, great setup for Captain Marvel 2. Yeah, oh my god, that was so bad. How was that post-credit scene? I was like, oh god, not this again. I'm so fed up with the Krulls or Skrulls or whatever they're called. Like, they were dead for me in Captain Marvel.
Somebody please spoil it for me.
So yeah, okay. In the end, you have like this chick that comes up to the daughter of Captain, to Monica Rambeau, and it turns out, and it says that she's needed elsewhere, and this chick is a Skrull.
Hey, she's not Monica Rambeau. I know what my daughter looks like.
Wait a minute. They had the little, like, the MCU thing at the end that they normally do at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
I cut it off immediately when it went off. I was like, oh, that was a piece of shit. And I just shut it off and went on.
The mid-credit scene and the post-credit scene.
Oh, so I didn't know they had a post-credit scene.
Yeah, mid-credit and post-credit. Yeah,
I got to go back and watch those now because I had no idea.
Yeah, they made it the whole thing even worse.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, you don't need to go see it.
That sounds like I'm probably good would not have seen.
Okay, so then what was the other one?
No, that was like just Wanda sitting in a cabin or something stupid. I don't even remember.
That was more like a Doctor Strange ode, right? Like
I don't know. I don't get
who cares at this point?
Okay, all right. I won't try to explain it for Tom then.
Yeah.
Somebody explain it to me.
Okay, well, you want me to say it or not?
I'm kidding. I don't care.
She went to the cabin Alan Tudyk had to sell at the end of Resident Alien, and she's in there practicing all kinds of spells.
More confused.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she was like sitting there and she was like reading books, probably on witchcraft, Doctor Strange style.
There was two of them, right? There was
so
Wanda.
That was one, and the other one was
Wanda sipping coffee outside of her cabin. She's all in solitude.
Is that where the lore thing comes from? Then maybe.
And then you pan the camera travels past her, goes into her bedroom, and you see another Wanda. You see Scarlet Witch floating in the air, all in the darkness and shit, casting spells, and she's reading from that book.
And you hear the kids say, "Mom, help!"
Right. So that was the end. That was kind of cool though, but it was kind of
Yeah, well, it wasn't nearly enough to make up for everything else.
No. All I kept asking was, how much do you think that cabin costs a month of rent? I mean, so
was it a nice one or was it
the Evil Dead cabin?
Was it like some Jason Voorhees cabin or was it nice?
No, it's pretty mountainous.
Get it? It's gonna be Sam Raimi directing.
It was very solitary. It was almost like a dream.
Damn it!
If you've seen Airwolf, it was like Stringfellow Hawk's cabin in the mountains. I was like waiting for Stringfellow Hawk to sit out there with his cello and play it. For those that have seen Airwolf, it was that kind of a cabin.
I'll say one thing about whiskey: it allows me to make smart, rational decisions.
Yeah, of course. That makes sense.
Was there a yellow car outside?
No.
A yellow car? Are you talking about like the bug from
No. No, the car that's in every one of the Evil Deads.
In fact, no. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the cabin almost seemed like it was in the middle of a lake.
I wasn't paying that close attention.
Oh, I paid attention because it was a sweeping shot, like it was going along the lake, water, and then it comes up and you see the cabin. No, it was,
I was hoping Ash was going to show up.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it again. Somebody in the chat, who was it? Chris Bernecker said the scene from the cabin.
Larry knows what I'm fucking talking about.
The scene from the cabin was a reference to the first Hulk movie. I'm gonna have to watch
one
it.
With
well, there was that Wizard of Oz homage when early on when they're battling each other and she throws the car at Agatha and her feet were up in the air.
Yeah.
Did you guys
that was really fun. Yeah. I felt I had like this Captain America moment. I understood that reference.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to super chats so we can get.
Yeah, let's do that so we can move on with this. Godzillionaire says the Luke Skywalker cameo was the Last Jedi version. Yeah, indeed. It was such a letdown. And Mexican Iron Man says, wow, watch that talk about fists. Anyways, this is a job for Naboo, the North American B-level Unsurpad Avengers.
Wow. Boy goes off.
And Mills says, the post-credit scene decanonized Marvel TV. Yeah, I don't see quite how, but I wish that this whole series would decanonize Marvel TV. Like, so far, I'm with the Netflix version. That's my canon until proven otherwise. And Dave Adrift says, MCU equals pro-slavery. Possibly by way of Disney, then. And ToxFox says, for £2 all the X-Men and Avengers couldn't imprison Wanda. Therio, God of Rage, says, multiverse used to mean multiple dimensions in Marvel Comics, various hells, dark dimension, etc. Always my impression for Doctor Strange 2, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see what they do with it. I'm just saying that my opinion or my excitement is severely reduced after watching this drivel. Michael von Doom says, people touched by the stones are shown to speak after death in Infinity War, such as Gamora. Wanda saying she made people happy sounds like Thanos. Taker610 says, the ambiguously gay Eternals fighting off evil. Yeah. And Cultured Casino says, this is the new art style going forward. Chinese propaganda style. I've been warning everyone the Eternals is the rainbow alphabet team. Yeah, well, certainly looks that way a little bit, doesn't it? And Captain Hare says, when do we get the official merging of the Star Wars and Marvel universes so KK can stop wearing her Kevin Feige prosthetics?
Yeah.
After seeing this, I'm like curious, like, careful what you joke about.
I was going to say, because, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Willie Woodward says, what angered me about this article was the whole interconnectivity and fan theories was how the MCU got free marketing for years. Yeah, he's referring to the Collider article, I take
Which,
it. We'll
yeah, it's probably a good place to bounce off.
Yeah, just give me let me just deal with these last two here. Nefarious Technology says, remember, Disney wanted to make this show stretch out to give Falcon and Winter Soldier a gateway entry. Disney created this by adding filler. That is indeed right. They did, and bad choice. Eskimonofono says, Disney Plus shows are like a soup for one person diluted to feed 8 people. Hail. That's a good analogy. And with that, Tom, let's get into the Collider article. We have a couple more super chats, but we'll deal with them, or we'll go through them afterwards. Do the Collider first.
Well, in this article, as you can see from the lovely, lovely title there, I'm going to let Rob off the leash now.
You want to read it?
You can. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
WandaVision failed to deliver things that were never promised to me. Who wants to watch a show about grief when I'm supposed to be getting sold on future Marvel things? For 2 months now, I've gone on Twitter after episodes of WandaVision, and everyone has been speculating about what's to come. The astrophysicist that Monica Rambeau, Teyonah Parris mentioned, that has to be Reed Richards because the new Fantastic Four movie is in the works. Sure, they haven't even finished the script, and director John Watts is still working on Spider-Man No Way Home, and a major piece of casting like that almost always leaks out in some form, but I was promised by the internet that John Krasinski would play Reed Richards, which of course means his real-world wife, Emily Blunt, was also being cast. You know what? Fuck off, Matt Goldberg, okay? Just fuck right the hell off, okay? Just fuck off. Seriously, no, seriously, asshole. Fuck off, okay? I am the one guy who says all fan theories are wrong. So if you want to sit there and tell me I had unrealistic expectations, you know what? I gotta see. You know what? I got your realistic expectations right here. Okay, asshole. All right, there you go. There's your realistic expectations, 1 and 2. So fuck right the hell off.
Yeah, get their asses.
I hope Matt shows up in the chat so we can bring him on.
That would be sweet.
Shane Part 2.
Yeah. All right, but do they say anything else interesting, or does that just about sum up the article? So it's a massive, massive defense saying that there's nothing wrong with the series. There's something wrong with the fans for having expectations and talking about and speculating and stuff like that. And they suck because the series couldn't live up to its own hype. That's kind of what he's saying, isn't it?
It's a victim of its own hype, yeah.
Yeah.
But as usual, he turns around and he blames the fans. Oh, it's the fans' fault. It's the fans' fault for having you just had unrealistic expectations. It's a Marvel. What, you actually expected other Marvel characters to appear in a Marvel show?
Right. It was like you wanted characters that you actually knew who they were show up in the MCU. No. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's pretty tone deaf, gotta say. But again, this is something that's that I would imagine has been written because we know that Collider is all about being industry professional, and they have a whole ton of interviews over on their Collider YouTube channel, the one that's dead and that no one watches ever. And like even our smallest videos, the ones that tank completely, have more views than their biggest hits these days. That Collider, they're desperate to maintain their access to the studios and those interviews, I guess. And for that, you have to write puff pieces like this every once in a while.
I wouldn't even call it a puff piece so much because after reading it, I'm like, and I haven't even watched the whole show.
Or defense them.
No, it feels more like an antagonization piece. Like, it's really just, I guess in defense of, you could put it that way, but it's more just like, oh, boo-hoo. You little babies didn't get what you want. Because I think this whole last paragraph here kind of sums up, and he's being sarcastic, obviously, but it's like, I really hope that Marvel learns from the errors they made with WandaVision. We can't allow studios to enable creators to entrust their audience with emotions and thematic resonance. The whole point of an interconnected superhero universe is to abandon the main plot line as soon as it gets to us, selling us onto the next thing in an interconnected superhero universe, rather than selling us on Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange 2, or the arrival of mutants, things that we have already been sold on and will watch no more. WandaVision, blah, blah, blah. The bottom part here is where he's like, and then I'm going to get off here and I'm going to go, I want my fandom affirmed, blah, 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 blah. It's just like, that's what he's being. He's being a real dick.
It's the Last Jedi. It's the Last Jedi all over again. Really, they're taking a page right out of.
Don't see exactly because I don't see anybody saying anything about the whole Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, anything about that. They wanted a resolution to this story. Is what I hear people wanting. And when you're promised something that's going to come up in a few super chats, I believe, where you're a Mark Hamill level fucking cameo, and it turns out to be nothing. I mean.
I wasn't the one saying there's going to be a Mark Hamill level cameo, Luke Skywalker level a character. They were.
Right?
More specifically, it was Paul Bettany. He was the one who said that.
Actually, I believe that started from a tweet from what's her face?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Elizabeth Olsen, yeah.
Well, it was the two of them then, because he said it in an interview as well.
I asked about it in an interview, and then he kind of lied about it. He just because he said I was so enthralled to be working with an actor that I've worked with so many times and know so well, and it turns out to be him as White Vision or whatever. Yeah, so he was like playing with the audience, is what it was, or at least that's the way people are interpreting it now. Yeah, and again, I'm just going off of what other people have said and what I've seen in the interviews and. Yeah, so I mean, I really have two shits to give about this anymore. The whole thing has just left a sour taste in my mouth. I really don't care.
No, I mean, why is this article saying it said, I watch them so that my fandom is affirmed, and being a fan means always looking ahead to the next thing rather than spending time in the present. Well, I like breaking things down and digging deeper into it. As a fan, are we not supposed to do that? Is that what this asshole was trying to say? That we're not, as fans, we're not supposed to dig deeper into the things that we care and love.
But what is he said that about like fandom being affirmed, that we want our fandom to be like, God, speak for yourself. Like, who's he speaking on behalf of? Maybe he needs that.
Exactly, because he's not speaking for me.
No, he's not speaking for me. I never need my fandom affirmed. Like, oh, I need to convince myself that I'm a fan, so I have to look forward to the next thing. And I'm disappointed because this thing didn't let me do that. So now I feel like less of a fan, and that hurts. I want to be a fan. Okay, to me, that seems like the attitude that the industry projects upon.
I was just going to say that.
Like, this is what we want you to feel. We want you to identify. Or
should I say, I was going to say that was a talking point from the studio. There's where
must have been.
Right.
Must
have
been.
It's a deprogramming of how to be a fan, and how to behave.
How dare you reject what we're you'll
how
like what
dare
we tell you to like. You'll like what we tell you to like, and you'll thank us.
Exactly.
That's basically right. That's what they're doing. That's such bullshit.
No, because he's conflating the argument here in the beginning part, and that's where I lost. Like, I just got totally pissed at this paragraph because he's basically saying sarcastically that the fans were wanting something from Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, or the mutants. Notice it doesn't use X-Men, and I know that article that came out this week was not anything official, but I've been telling people now for almost a year or so that around the office at Marvel, they're not allowed to call them the X-Men anymore. They are the mutants. So don't be surprised if that shit is true, and that's why they refer to them as the mutants here, and the fucking X-Men official movie is not called X-Men, but the mutants. Or
who would have thought?
Didn't you know, Tom,
that the X-Men returning to Marvel would be the worst thing to happen to the X-Men?
I know, right?
Yeah.
The X-Them.
X-Them.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. I've hered that a couple times too. I like that one. But no, and I don't remember anybody saying we're expecting that outside of the whole, we were promised with Quicksilver, which quickly became a big kind of con to the audience.
That's honestly what killed it for me more than anything else. Like, wait, so this is not the Quicksilver from the X-Men. This is just some random butthole who lived in this town that was under a hex as well. Well, that's way to throw a cold shower upon the audience.
And again, I believe people are right with the whole hex thing, and there's going to come back as Hexmen or Hex whatever, and people will start getting called X-Men in the show. But when you'll have a line where somebody will blow it off being like X-Men, that's a little exclusive. It should be like X-Them or X-People, and then they'll never bring it up again. They'll just be referred to as mutants from then on out.
Guys, I could have Googled this, but I'm going to just ask you, what does hex mean in English exactly?
And hex is like to put a spell on somebody.
It's a hex, or it's a spell, or a curse. Or
like a curse, yeah.
So they're going to refer as the mutant gene as the curse, or the hex gene.
Yeah, I figured it was something
and it's going to get shortened to the X. And I didn't come up with this. This has come from other fan theories. Mm-hmm. And I buy it, though. It makes sense as to how they're setting this shit up. And you can start to see patterns and how, look, Kevin Feige's been doing this now for almost 15 fucking years. We've seen how these things kind of unfold. And I'm starting to understand why people are saying certain things are formalic, even though I look at the movies and I'm like, well, this movie doesn't look anything like this. And Guardians of the Galaxy is nothing like Iron Man. I mean, now I get what they're saying. You can kind of start to see where instead of being like this point where you can't tell where all the roads are diverging to, you're starting to see more where the roads are converging to. Does that make sense? Like, I can see why people are starting to figure it out more. So I guess is where they're thinking it's more formalic, and it's probably a struggle for them on the other end. That's why I asked earlier if this was felt like it was recut, because I was curious if they worked around some of the leaks and tried to refix this, and maybe there was a major cameo that got cut out. That's what I was thinking.
They gypped us. We did not. We didn't get nothing like that. They're going to ruin my Venom movie, aren't they? I'm so excited about the new Venom movie, and they're going to destroy it. I just know it.
Actually, I think the Venom movie is going to be great.
I hope so. I mean,
that's the one I'm looking forward to.
I'm excited about. I'm really, really excited about that one.
Yeah, me
too. I'm afraid they're going to ruin it, and I don't want them to.
Much more excited for that one than anything coming out of the MCU right now. Like, of all comic book movies I look forward to, that one is the undisputed number one.
Which one?
Yep.
It's not
the new
Venom and Carnage.
Venom and Carnage.
Oh yeah.
It's not so much. It's not so much that they gypped us. It's that the thing is, I always say this about Star Wars. When you slap Marvel Studios, when you think of the MCU, you expect something bigger, something better.
Mm-hmm.
This just landed like a big old wet fart.
It did. But no, I mean so they've got Quicksilver there, right? And I love him, so I was really excited. And then no, you don't get him. Sorry, you don't get it. And it was I felt really like, what? Like, why? Why did y'all do that?
They subverted your expectations. That's what they did.
Rob, you're putting down wet farts. I have to say, a wet fart can be more enjoyable than what I saw. At least my wet farts. No? Anyone? Okay. Well, Mandy laughed. Thank you.
I liked it.
I was muted there, but
it was a muted laugh.
We just had a breakthrough in the X-Men story, so I had to go write it to Rob in the private chat here.
What I know.
Okay, yeah, I see. But like I said, this is the same. These are the same people, at least in name, that brought you the Avengers, the fucking Avengers. And now it's like, oh yeah, now okay, girlfriend, we get it. You're sorry that we're sorry. Yeah, we're sorry. Bye. See you later.
On that note, let's go more super chats before we continue, because there's more to say, but we want to hear what you guys have to say. David Stout says, "Woke a vision. That is all. I did not watch." Yeah, and you did not miss out in any way, shape, or form. Let's just say that. And then we have let's see. Willie Woodward says, "What angered me about this article was that the whole interconnectivity and fan theories was how the MCU got free marketing for years. And yeah, now we're thinking too much, apparently." And Nefarious Technology says, "Remember, Disney wanted to make this show stretch out to give Falcon and Winter, they created filler." I did that one already. And then Al Adolfson, that's the next one. "I grew up with Lucy and Dick Van Dyke Weekly. Didn't bother me. First 2 episodes back to back felt like one. I enjoyed it. It ended as it should have." Thunderstorm says, "Agatha was manipulating Wanda, backpedaling in 9 to cover up how evil Stark Agatha are." Lots of manipulation going on there. And your Muslim uncle says, "Love Fluffy, but he did a pro-Latin X episode on his show."
Yeah, well, I responded to him. It's like, well, look, no celeb's perfect, but he did take a stand. I give him a pass, but I honestly, I'll be dead honest. I've seen like 1 episode of Mr. Iglesias on Netflix. It's just not my type of comedy, but maybe I should see it.
Yeah. And Joseph Bienowitz says, for $10, thank you so much, "I can't wait till cancel culture finally turns on itself and the cannibalism begins. Sooner or later, they too will eat their own. The hunger must be fed. Oh, screw those idiots." Yeah, good said. Or actually said.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I will say this about Fluffy, though, the comedian. I mean, I'm not a big fan of his comedy. I mean, he's fine, but I will say this about him, Paulie. I don't know how much of a stand-up you've seen, but I got to give him credit for not using his race as a crutch so much in his comedy, like a lot of Latino comedians usually do. I mean, that's one thing I will give him credit for. Like, I mean, he does from time to time, but he's at least doesn't rely on it so much like some others in the past have. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to.
Well,
but yeah,
his shtick is his weight. Right?
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
That's part of it. And other
there was a great comedian named Freddie Soto, and he passed away. But he would do his dad, and he would impersonate his dad, like because they were all part of the same Latin comedy circuit in the 90s. They were all kind of coming up. And Fluffy was good, but Freddie was light years, man. And he would just impersonate his dad. And it was just amazing. So everyone's got a shtick. And yeah, the dad was a Mexican dad, but it could have been anyone's dad, the way he did it. And there's others that do more, kind of stereotypical jokes that maybe, are lowbrow, but people are always going to laugh. It's comedy.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just wanted to point that out, that he at least doesn't use that as a crutch, at least.
He's very successful, man. He's regardless.
Well, I think that's why he's
Freddie. Someone in the chat knows Freddie Soto's line. Yeah. So the dad would always say, regardless.
Well, I just think that's one of the reasons why he's crossed over so much, is he's not kind of pigeonholing himself completely that much.
Yeah, and that's I mean, it's, again, that's Fluffy's a big deal.
Yeah,
everyone loves him.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you there. So Sunday jokes, man.
Yeah.
He'd be like, fuck you. No.
Then we have Joe Pat 87 who says DT 2007 had Quack Pack, FOP had Channel Chasers, and JL 2001 Legends. All cartoons, all the same as WandaVision. So yeah, and also we've had similar concepts in comics, God knows how many times. Nelson Cheretta says, weren't we promised a major cameo? Yeah, we were, but they lied. Joseph Cittadino says, the Monica scene likely means the rumors that they are replacing Carol with Monica, meaning that the cheese herself, Brie Larson, is out of the MCU.
Yeah, that kind of supports things that and then again, this is just me kind of speculating a lot on things that I don't really have too much to go off of. But I've said it before. I don't think that Brie Larson was meant to stick around for very long, or they wouldn't have started her out on such a high price tag. Because I mean, a lot of the other Avengers took a long time to get to that price tag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the next super chat, this one is for you, Mandy. I put it in the private chat. It's from Matt G, who wants you to say something.
Oh, thank you, Matt G. Oh my God, Mandy, Wanda was doing astro injections and stuff. Like, what? Thank you.
Astro injections.
And Lucas G says, anyone else got Michael Burnham with Monica? Yeah, thankfully not.
You
so
mean
much
vibes,
for
I
me.
think you're saying? Not at first, but it sounds like a little bit more so later on. But I didn't see the latter episodes. What did you think, Rob? Did you get some Michael Burnham vibes out of her?
Kind of a bestest ever kind of vibe. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Stunning and brave.
I was just going to say, was she stunning and brave? You beat me to it, though. You beat me to it.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Willie Woodward says, Andre, well said, struggling trying the same thing. In reference to something I said earlier. And Felicity Poubelle says for $5, maybe if Disney invested the money they paid this shills into the actual content, we'd get something good. Well, they only need to find talented people. That doesn't have to cost any more than finding the hacks that they currently got working for them. Right. The hacks writing the hacks.
Speaking of hack writers, this just kind of dawned on me. Oh, go ahead, Mandy. You were going to say something.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing that, yeah, the writers are, they're lazy, very lazy writing.
They're lazy puppies?
They're lazy puppies.
Well, of course, I can't say it without showing them, but that's what I'll say, what I was going to say.
Oh, here's so good.
This whole thing with, the difference between people like Captain Marvel and Mikey Spock compared to like other women heroes we enjoy, like Sarah Connor or Ripley or even Wonder Woman from recent years, is instead of having them stand around and a bunch of people praise them constantly and tell them how great they are, they're actually out kicking ass. They don't have a bunch of scenes where they sit around going, oh, God, if it wasn't for you, Ripley, we would have never got out of there alive. God, if it wasn't for you, Sarah, the world would have ended.
You're so stunning and brave, Ripley.
Not once. You don't have those scenes because they're too busy kicking the hell out of the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
There is no better scene than when you see Ripley loading up for Bear, going back into the colony.
Stay away from her.
No, instead it's with WandaVision, it's their way of tearing down the patriarchy. I mean, let's just be real.
Yes.
Especially with that ending episode. It's just these
have characters make your point, then you
agendas are just it's forefront, not the fact that you can create a Ripley so easily. We have an incredible actor. Her name's Elizabeth Olsen. Write for her, but don't write agenda.
That's what I've been complaining about forever now, is they're no longer writing for entertainment. They're, like you said, they're putting their agenda on the forefront. So the writing is secondary, and pushing whatever they're trying to push comes first. And you can really feel it in the writing. You can feel it in all of it, that they don't really care about that. They're just trying to show you that, women are strong. We're stunning and brave. Look at us go. Yeah. But there's no story added to it. It's so lazy. It's so lazy.
Or if I may use another quote from Ghostbusters, women are funny, deal with it. Except, of course, for those particular women in that particular movie.
I'll name a few women that are funny. Lucille Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Penny Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Robin and we can sit there for all day long talking about it. We got Carol Burnett.
Vicki Lawrence.
Yeah, Vicki Lawrence. Yeah,
she was
hilarious.
Amazing. Yeah.
Joan Rivers.
Betty White.
Yeah, everybody loves Betty. Who doesn't? Come on, there's got to be something wrong with you if you don't like Betty White.
Right? I've loved her since the Mary Tyler Moore show, when she was when she was aggravating
Catherine O'Hara
the whole time.
Practically the whole entire cast of Saturday Night Live until they got annoying.
Oh God, Saturday Night Live's
Madeline
really
Kahn.
Madeline Kahn. I love Madeline Kahn.
Roseanne Barr, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gilda. Who doesn't love Gilda? Come on. Another one like Betty White. Gilda. Who doesn't like Gilda Radner?
Roseanne Dana.
Who?
That was her characters. Rosanna Dana.
And she was like this,
Don't you hate it when you get a booger stuck up in your nose and you just can't get it out?
She was like the news correspondent, and she went on like that. It was great. Yeah.
That was always her stories.
Never liked Jane Curtin, though.
I think she was making fun of Mickey Rooney is what she was doing.
So, I always liked Dan Aykroyd's Jane, you ignorant slut. Ruth Buzzy.
Yeah, God. Great.
Catherine O'Hara. She just turned like 60-something.
Yeah, I brought her up earlier. But you know what? And I've been saying this now for a while. As much shit as we gave Leslie Jones, she was the best part of Ghostbusters. She was one of the better parts of Coming to America.
She sure was.
And I mean, outside of, just her obnoxious shit that she does on SNL, everything else I've seen her in, I don't really have a problem with her. So like if she really cuts down on some of the obnoxious shit, which generally comes off very stereotypical, if you ask me. I mean, other than that, she'd be great because she does have good comedic timing. She's great.
But we go back to that comedy for different crowds. That type of comedy, it appeases a large crowd. I mean, Mrs. Slant was hollering at some of those quote unquote ghetto jokes. You know what I mean? Her ghetto delivery.
Oh, and somebody brought up Goldie Hawn. That's one of my darlings. Sorry.
Oh, Goldie. Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. She's got great timing, great grace.
Indeed.
Hell yeah. Indeed. And then we got some super chats to finish up here, so let's get through them. Does anybody have to bounce? I know Rob said he did have to go soon. So
yeah. Then we have Stephen Otten, who says for $5, thank you so much. I'm so sick of the way Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm treats longtime fans. I'm with Tom. I am beyond done. If we're not wanted, we will go elsewhere. Indeed, vote with your wallet. And that's kind of like why I wish that the Eternals could get a regular theatrical release so it could bump in a way that it looks to richly deserve. Tired retro gamer Aletta, oh, I like that, says for $4.99, it's not about theories or high expectations. Stuff was set up in the show and not paid off. Bad storytelling, period. Yes, I agree
that's what
with
I was
that.
saying. Is I think most of the disappointment I seen had nothing to do with, oh, I was expecting an X-Men to show up or whatever. It was more so like, we were promised this major, cameo, and I mean, I heard everything all across the gambit from Iron Man to fucking
Magneto.
So like, it doesn't. I can't really see that as him, as they're trying to imply with Matt's article. And then beyond that, like you said, it sounds to me like all you guys were more upset with just the lack of resolution or a real shitty resolution to something that, really ramped up to something important, it felt like to me. And this is me going off the observation of just listening to you guys in the last hour and a half. So,
yeah, indeed. I agree with that. Like, they can try to blame the fans all they want, but in reality, they produced something that just wasn't up to scratch. Simple as that. Thunderstorm says for $4.99, Wanda was mentally controlled by Agatha, abused beyond horrors by S.H.I.E.L.D. Sword Shark. Episode 9, they tried to backpedal all that and failed.
Yeah. And kudos to Daddy Dreep for this one. I should have said Iron Man to Gambit.
For across that would have been good.
That's clever.
That's very clever.
Puddington 2 says for $20, thank you so much. Kudos to Rob. A brain fart was exactly what I was thinking about when watching the WandaVision finale. Yeah, that's...
Wasn't it Ollie who said that, or was it Rob?
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's
Rob,
like
Rob said it.
Yeah.
But then I was like,
You followed up on it.
Okay, I thought so. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Blue Satoshi says for $5, looking forward to the next thing equals don't ask questions, just consume product, then get excited for the next product. Yeah, that's how they see us.
But I mean, I can tell from the dislike ratio on this show, and you're fine. You're, totally, cool with your opinions on it. Few people liked it, but not that many. See, that's what I'm getting from this number here. And I'm assuming that's just kind of going by like, yeah, I'm assuming people will like this if they didn't like it or didn't like it if they did. So,
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't see any rabid WandaVision fans in the chat. What the fuck you talking about? Is the greatest ever, man.
Yeah.
No. It's like,
a couple of people say they enjoyed it and they liked it.
Yeah, it's all right, yeah.
But, I mean, I'm glad I didn't waste my time with it.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's really weird. I don't know that I've ever seen a show to where I'm so torn. Like, because I really do feel like I would have liked it if I could have just watched it all at once. But because they did it this way and they drug it out so long, that's what made me really not like it. And I had more. Maybe it's because I did have time to think, and they don't like that. So that's what it was. It gave me time to think about these episodes as they did it, and I'm not supposed to think. This guy over here told me that.
No, but I'm one of those guys. The article says you're not supposed to think.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I'm one of those guys that they really didn't want to lose as a fan because I spend a lot of money on junk. No, I do, and I'm totally checked out. Just.
It's really funny when they tell you when to think, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Think for yourself, but don't go along with the crowd and think what we say, and that's it.
Yeah.
Only
think what we believe is right. Other than that, you shouldn't.
Yeah, but if somebody doesn't agree with you, then they're obviously a Russian troll.
Oh, obviously.
Can we say something about their closing credits? I mean, good God. Every episode, it was like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was such a pain in the ass.
On a 30-minute show, they give you like 8 minutes worth of credits.
You know what's worse about that is the amount of money they probably spend to do the CGI endings like that with all the, because they're trying to emulate the Marvel endings, but it's like, I mean, I'm sure it's not that expensive, but it's like, you could have put that somewhere else. You didn't really need to do that because you're enticing people to stay around for something that's not there. Because none of them had end credit scenes to the point where Mandy missed the end credit scenes at the very, very end, because that's where they put them finally, like a movie.
Right. No, and I watched the first one all the way. When I watched it, I watched all the credits through, thinking they might. And then I did the same thing with the second one. I was like, okay, well, maybe because they did 2 at once, they put it on this one. There was no coming next week. There was nothing. So I just finally quit watching them because I don't want to watch.
And the only reason why I saw the last episode, I think I left the TV on by accident, and I was like, oh shit, another one.
Because with those things, they actually trained the audience to, you don't have to watch here. Because I bet that half the audience, they were watching through the credits of the first 4 episodes, and they were like, screw this. Yeah. Because it's a third of the episode is just end credits.
I would love to
see limit to how long you're going to want to sit through that. And for me, in the first episode, I was sitting through the whole thing, and I was like, what the hell is this? There's nothing.
Yep, same here. Because you figure when you look, it ends, and you're like, damn, it's over already. And then you look, and you're like, all right, well, there's a lot of credits, so they're going to do something. There must be something at the end, because I've never seen that. I mean, there's Gone with the Wind has less credits than this damn thing did. And it's like, whoa. So you just really think they're going to have something, and then they didn't.
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. I
can't find it, but I'm curious if somebody out there will eventually cut everything together without the pre-credit crap that's just recaps and
there's going to be found at this point
just to see how long it is without all that junk. I'm curious how long it is. I bet you it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And then you even do a cut for that.
And say I would rewatch it. I'm at some point, if somebody ever makes one of those, I will rewatch it and see if my opinion changes when I get to sit through all of it at one time. But yeah, I won't. I'm not happy for season 2. I'm good with it how it is.
Okay, so because I was just gonna say, if you cut it together, okay. Captain Robert April found it. 4 hours and 36 minutes. Okay, that kind of still supports my claim here. I was going to say that this is basically the long cut of a movie before they chop it down to a 2.5 hour movie.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's generally what an assembly cut runs out to, is about 4.5 hours, usually in that range.
That's exactly what it was too.
That's what it sounds like to me, what you guys are explaining to me. And it's but if you cut this down, is there a good movie here? And I don't know. You
could take out all the Monica Rambeau crap. And I love her, but you could take out homegirl, Kat Dennings.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are getting a little pushback from some people, but Huggy Bear, to be clear, I've heard a lot of explanation as to why they didn't like it. And, Sebastian thinks we didn't understand it.
I understood it fine, just didn't like it.
Yeah. I guess explain to us what you think we didn't understand, perhaps, because I'm not having any trouble understanding what these guys are saying, and I didn't watch the last 4 episodes.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a convenient excuse. You didn't like it? Well, didn't you understand it? Yeah, no, actually,
that was the same kind of crap I heard from BVS, and it's no, I understood it. It was just stupid.
Or of course, there may be one detail here or there that might have gone over our heads. There might be some things in the subtext that we didn't spot. I'm not gonna be so arrogant as to say that we got absolutely every little thing. Right. No, we probably missed loads of things, but you know what? We didn't miss the main beats. We didn't miss the major implications, and that is what is the problem here.
You know what I see as a bigger problem here? Is this was the launch of the new MCU television universe. I think this you guys think this was a bad place to start it? I think it was.
A terrible place to start it.
I think this could have been freaking amazing. I think a lot of the things they did, I thought were really, really cool. Again, I loved the whole 50s feel and how it changed. I thought that was really, really cool, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. I think, it was a great concept. I think they got lost in, the writer's room. And
hey, Daddy, I'm not a sexist. I'm a misogynist. Get it right.
Get it right. So it could have been like a very interesting reboot of the MC universe on TV.
Yes, it could have been awesome. It could have been really, really good. But I feel like they just dropped the ball on it. And hopefully they will. I don't know. They shouldn't have started it with this. Not if this was the route they were going to go. Unless this is what the MCU is. And honestly, that's kind of what I'm thinking. This is where the MCU is going. This is what it's going to be now. Because I was kind of done with the MCU after Endgame. So, but when they started saying, we're coming out with Venom, we're doing this, I was like, okay, all right, maybe.
Well, for you might be, at least with Venom, it still seems like the Venom verse and all this stuff is happening in an alternate timeline.
That's what I'm hoping. And I heard it was going to be rated R too. So
I don't think you'll get that wish, but maybe.
I heard it was. No, y'all, they got to make
said the
it
same
rated
thing
R.
about the other one too until it wasn't. So
no.
Exactly. So that's just playing their usual tricks again. So I wouldn't have any hopes for it being rated R. But it can still be really good. And I hope it's going to be, especially with Andy Serkis there behind the camera, because he's great both in front of and behind the camera. So underrated.
G. Coming soon from Pixar. Disney's Venom. He's got a bad attitude.
Oh no, Tom! I hate Tom, Andre. I hate to say this, but Drunk 3PO has scooped us with an exclusive interview with Geode.
Oh shit!
The Star Wars High Republic rock.
Dirty mother! I'm gonna give him a talking to.
Damn it! We were so close.
I was trying to get him on my channel. I heard he is an amazing listener, and
I heard he really cares about your feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't really say much.
And a hell of a lover, very giving lover.
Very giving, and he's always. Never mind. I was gonna go too dark with that.
Speaking, and apparently a great listener.
Yeah, that's what she just said. Unlike Andre.
I've been calling him a Geode.
Bit of a stone face, though.
Well, we don't have too much to go on with Geode, but we did just.
But he's full of gratitude.
I know this is kind of
granted.
Granted.
Paulie, just don't take him for granted.
Well,
that's
favorite,
what it was.
Yeah, don't take him for granted. And Leox wouldn't take him for granted. Maybe this will kind of give you guys a tease of what we might be talking about in the morning. We totally got a description of Leox Giassi, who is charming, a rogue pilot of the vessel who may or may not have a fondness for spice. Despite his undeniable good looks, romantic and sexual encounters are imperative to him. In fact, he identifies as asexual, or not imperative. And in fact, he identifies as asexual. His primary focus is piloting the vessel with his navigator Geode or Bind Guild. Now, I don't know if there's 100%.
Is this real?
I don't know. I just
you pretty much made him a eunuch, didn't they? They made Han Solo a eunuch and made him look like Matthew McConaughey.
That's who it is. I was sitting here trying to
they said he's modeled after Matthew McConaughey.
Right now is a great time for me to take off my shirt.
All right.
You know, I used to fly a vessel back before it was cool to fly a vessel. All right.
So is he the co-pilot and the Rock is the actual pilot, or is the Rock the
Rock is the co-pilot?
You know the best thing about rocks? I get older, they just stay the same age.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is horrible. This is so cringe.
Wow.
But they made this is. I said that this is what Star Wars would look like if it was written by a second grade teacher or a grammar school librarian.
No. This is by an oversexed or undersexed.
Yeah, this is written by someone that is undersexed themselves and want everyone else to be undersexed too. So they're learning the kids.
Why is sex
be
so
asexual.
important?
It's okay. Be gay and asexual.
Why is sex so important? I don't understand why do you want your heroes to be sexy? I don't understand why it's so important to you. That's what she's probably saying.
Yep. Yeah, and she's blaming y'all for the male stare.
Yeah.
I'm stunning and brave over here, but you guys, y'all are really in for it.
Man, this is just too much for a Sunday. It's too much.
Oh, this is so bad. This
Isn't it?
They're just destroying Star Wars. Just they're like giving it like the upper decker, right? They're just dropping deuces everywhere with Star Wars right now. It's so bad.
Oh, for God's sake.
I just remembered what an upper decker is. I was like thinking, note to self, find out what. But yeah, I remember now. Oh my God.
God bless upper deckers.
For God's sake.
Oh,
it always makes me laugh because somewhere I know that there's like the same guy that would drop a deuce in the urinal. It's the same guy that would leave an upper decker. Like there's he doesn't care.
Well, I mean, there are some women that would do that too. I mean, let's not forget about Amber Heard.
There are. I shouldn't have left the ladies out. Apologies.
Whoa. Apology accepted.
For God's sake.
We have a couple of more super chats to go through and try to get caught up with that. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like no one really cares about WandaVision, but everyone is unified in their shock and disgust over Leox Giassi and his trusted companion Geode. So moving on from there, David March says, having put up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I was not disappointed by WandaVision. When your expectations are super low, you can be forgiving of trash. As for myself, I dropped out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in season 1, so my expectations are too high, I guess, to be able to enjoy this. Taker610 says, Geode is the most compelling Disney Star Wars character yet. And the horror is that you're not wrong. Joseph Cittadino says, for $10, thank you so much. The issue with all these Hollywood writers is nepotism. Instead of being hired on merit, they're hired because daddy knows a guy who knows a guy with industry connections. Tommy Bowler says for $5, I've always been a fan of the phrase, don't talk about it, be about it. Basically, don't tell me about how great you are. Show me what you got. And Taker610 says, Norwegian version of No Way Jose is Norway Andre.
No way Andre.
Oh yeah, I'll keep that one in mind. And Cultured Casino says, I leaked the teaser trailer for Geode today. Then we'll have to go and check that one out. And Cesario JPN says, see if Drunk can figure out Geode's pronouns. Is it sedimentary, metamorphic, or igneous? Yes, this is very, very important. We have to find out how Geode identifies.
Yes.
And Willie Woodward says, Mandy, if you didn't think Venom was dumb, then Venom 2 Electric Boogaloo will be fined. Finally, love you, Mandy, with a smiley.
Oh, I love you too.
Oh.
And Thunderstorm says, Star Wars Geode, like a rock on Disney Plus soon. Yeah, give that thing his own show. I'd watch that. Or at least laugh at it. Puddington 2 says for $5, Star Wars The High Republic starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Geode. You know what the horror is? We're probably going to have to read that book now. Just to make maximum fun of it. And Stephen Otten just said, off topic, apparently the Critics' Choice Awards are on tonight. Crickets. Yeah, who the hell cares about the Critics' Choice Awards? That's like most of like the movies that no one cared about.
Cringe.
Yeah, I've never liked watching celebrities celebrate being celebrities. It's like, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of those to begin with.
There's a great line in Grand Theft Auto 5. He goes, "Yeah, what better way to celebrate art than celebrities give each other plastic statues?"
Right.
Yeah. With that, though, we are fully caught up. And to summarize the events of today, WandaVision is, in retrospect, a big waste of time and a terrible start for the MCU on Disney+.
Yes.
That's my summary. I think there's wide agreement about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
Now, what are we looking forward to next in the MCU? So, like Mandy, we ignore Venom for the moment. What that's coming in the MCU are we all looking forward to? Polly, what in the MCU going forward has you excited?
I didn't mind the Winter Falcon and Winter trailer. I like the jokes that they were throwing, slinging at each other, but as a trailer, I'm a sucker for good trailers. So, I think what's the actor's name? Falcon. Mackie.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah,
Anthony Mackie, yeah.
I think he's great. Love him. But we'll see. I like that. There were some dude jokes in there. Loki's coming out. And then these films, because of like what they're just being stalled. I mean, I can't really say I'm looking forward. Really, I think I'm looking forward more to DC stuff right now at this point.
Mandy, how about you? What the proper MCU has got you excited?
I am somewhat excited about Spider-Man and She-Hulk. If they it depends on what they're going to do with She-Hulk. If they are going to make her in the image of the She-Hulk that I love, cool. If She-Hulk is going to look kind of like what they're doing with the comic right now, I won't be as excited with it. The MCU, honestly, I have trouble getting excited about anything because I know what they're going to do with it. So I'm going into it with really, really low expectations. But I get the one I'm the most excited about is the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man they're doing. Somewhat.
We got a €5 super chat from from RoloCat that says, "Look out, paper." Yeah. I'm with you kind of, Mandy. Like, the only things I'm really looking forward to now, especially now that whole thing has really taken my love for anything that comes out of Disney way down to a very low level. Mm-hmm. I'm not too keen on what's going to come up other than maybe the Guardians and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Because other than that, even them, I'm kind of tempered at this point. But like even Andre and Rob will back you up. I'm somebody who was always kind of more optimistic about the MCU until recently. So I don't know. I'm starting to think that the Wokies are winning, and I'm just like, fuck it. We might as well just give up on this shit.
Has Guardians of the Galaxy 3 even been announced for Phase 4?
Yeah, it's coming. It's just not going to. He should be starting soon on it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am locking you guys in the chat. Some of the people you're saying is going to play She-Hulk. Y'all, like John Cena.
Oh my god,
that sounds about right.
The Rock.
The Rock. Yeah. Some of you guys are giving some great characters to play. Now, Gina Carano doing She-Hulk, I would be all over that. You wouldn't be able to stop me from watching that movie, but
that's not a likelihood.
Right.
But Rob, what are you looking forward to?
Lou Ferrigno.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I have no idea what to look forward to. Like Guardians 3, like you said. But I look at all the properties. I'm like, yeah, like I keep saying before, and I'll keep saying it. We're stuck with the bench warmers here. We really are.
We are.
Yeah, this is going to be the MCU's rebuilding period. And for anybody who follows sports, when a team goes into rebuilding, you're in for a lot of losing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that your words there, Rob, are going to ring very true. The only thing that I find myself slightly looking forward to right now is Loki. For the simple reason, for the hope that it's going to restore a proper multiverse with other timelines. We'll see how that is.
Yeah,
And beyond that, it's Guardians of the Galaxy, it's Spider-Man, and after WandaVision, I'm gonna have to rekindle my excitement for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I was super hyped for that before, but not now, not after watching this. Like, honestly, the only superhero things that are coming, like announced and coming, I look forward to right now, is actually the Snyder Cut and Venom. So DC and Sony, and not Marvel.
Yeah. And with the Snyder Cut, I'm like, good for the people who wanted it. I'm not expecting to like it at all. So if it's good, I'll say it. But then the Troach, if I'm saying that right, 365. I have no hope for the MCU going forward. It's going to be like sequel Star Wars and Bad Robot Star Trek. Speaking of Bad Robot Star Trek.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Andre, you want to plug our video from earlier before we get out of here?
Yes. A few hours ago, we dropped our video where we not only went through the official announcement that J.J. Abrams. Actually, it wasn't an official announcement. It looked like one, but it wasn't. It was a strategic leak that J.J. Abrams is back producing Star Trek with one of the writers from Star Trek Discovery. You know that episode that completely broke Robert Meyer Burnett? Mm-hmm. Well, she's the writer of that episode.
Lovely.
She's the one that's going to be writing the next Star Trek movie. We, of course, we go through that and everything else, so do check that video out.
Two things that are not in that video I want to kind of bring up, and you can keep in mind while watching it, though. And this is my personal opinion and kind of just going off of everything. I'm not so sure that thing is nearly as official as anybody thinks. I think it was just a pitch, and somebody put it out in public like they always do.
Yeah, we make that point in the video.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. But
I looked up, guys, what a blind deal is. That's when you go to the studio and present your pitch just out of the blue. And it even says to her that she initiated this.
And secondly, if there is any truth to this, it could be somebody who's looking to prolong their job there after the other crew's gone, because she has nothing to do so much with Secret Hideout and Kurtzman as it does with Bad Robot.
Yeah, you get to.
If she gets JJ behind her,
typically,
that's a totally different story.
Yeah, typically what you do, typically they get together and they start working on ideas. They throw around a few ideas, and then they present the best ones to the studio and see if they bite.
And see, that's the thing is we've had people tell us they couldn't even get a meeting to do pitches for Star Trek. So that considering that they listened to her, if they did, then that means that still confirms a lot more of our reporting as to where they can only deal with people right now within Bad Robot or Secret Hideout, and that's why they basically are saying nothing else is coming. And the other thing I want to remind people about the whole Kiva Goldsman connection, he's the one who took over for Picard. Keep that in mind as well.
I think what happened is she's not pitching this to the network. I think she's pitching this to Bad Robot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's using that as a meet. She's meeting with Bad Robot. Okay, let's see what we can come up with, and then they're going to turn around and try to pitch it to Paramount or see.
That's what I'm saying. JJ will get them a meeting, and get JJ behind her will actually lift her up. And she could be trying to position herself to take over Star Trek after all this other stuff is done. Because let's be real here. As much as they want to pretend that shit's going to happen, Section 31 is not going to happen.
No.
Nothing. And if they're saying that nothing is going forward until after this shit's done, then that means they have no intentions whatsoever of going forward with any. I love the mentality and the mental gymnastics they're trying to jump through. Because let me tell you something, and Andre will back me up on this. If any of this shit was a hit, they'd be asking for more of it. They wouldn't be saying, no, we're just going to hold off until the rest of the shit's done. That is just propaganda bullshit coming from I was going to say Bad Robot, but it's more from Secret Hideout to just hide the fact that they're done. They're done and they're over with. And the reason Akiva Goldsman is a bit of a fucking like a stick in the spoke of this whole thing is he has no real loyalty to anybody's side. He's kind of his own person. He has his own production company. So I guarantee you part of this is he's trying to position himself so maybe his production company can come in here and take over for Star Trek. But he is also one of JJ's people.
Yeah.
But he knows him a lot.
This is politics galore.
It's like Game of Thrones bullshit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It sounds
It
like.
is.
What I've been hearing.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is Star Trek, right?
Yeah, well, that's because Kurtzman destroyed it. They want to get rid of him. They're stuck with this ironclad 5-year contract. And until that shit's up, they can't do anything without him. And that's why nobody else can get a pitch.
Dang, that's shitty.
And there is this secret project that we've heard about a couple times now called Khan, but we can't really say too much about it, but we don't know too much about it either. So there's two aspects to that. But as far as we know, the only thing we know is nobody involved with these other companies is involved with it. So it's kind of like, is this something they're going to hold off on until this other shit's done? And then this is going to get announced when they're no longer within the realm of contract disputes or anything like that. That's a whole nother conversation to get into. But maybe that's something we'll talk about tomorrow, Andre. I don't know what we'll get into exactly yet in the morning show, but yeah.
It's way too early to say. We usually don't know until like 5 minutes before it. So, but we'll find out and we'll see what breaks down.
Well, that's because news changes so quickly. So
Exactly.
And we know that there are some companies that send people their Dear John letters like in the middle of the night. So it's like, 10 p.m. that they're getting the call and stuff. So
and
I don't want to point fingers at what company that is, but
Yeah.
But
there'll be another someone else will be canceled tomorrow morning. So
by tomorrow there's many people.
There's tonight too,
right? Does this rock gonna talk? Does anybody know this Star Wars rock? Is it a talking rock? Does it talk?
Would it vibrate, Rob?
What's that?
Would the rock vibrate? Like, communicate vibes?
I have no idea. That's a good question. Technically, all matter does vibrate at certain frequencies. In the very slowly. Yeah, but it's just it's a fucking rock.
Well, but does it talk? It's a pilot too.
You know what I heard? I heard. This is what I heard from somebody, that the rock moves when you're not looking.
That's the stupidest thing I have ever heard.
You know what it is, Andre? It's the weeping angels from Doctor Who. That's the same idea. Or Toy Story or Woody or whatever, But like, what? It's a fucking rock. Oh, but it's more than it's a rock. Okay. Oh, but it's a good character. Too late. You sold it as a rock. Okay.
Okay. So if you then have 3 people and one of them is looking at them at the same time, or one of them is always looking at it, then the rock can never move, and it cannot serve as a navigator. Look there, rock.
I'm trying. Hold on.
What do you want me to do? Don't take your eye off the rock.
There you go. I guess I'm gonna light on. There he is. The star. Yeah. It's the star of the new.
Oh goodness, I'm starstruck.
You already got yours in the mail?
No, you can do your interview now, Andre.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. Okay, Rock. Tell us, how do you identify?
I'm a rock.
Dear God.
I need the hot glaze.
Give me a solo shot for a second on the rock.
Hey, I'm Leslie Headland. I want you for the new Star Wars series. How you doing?
I'm all
the
Star Wars. I'm all the Star Wars. Please. Oh, somebody's looking. I can't move.
That is so ridiculous.
I can't move, but I tell the ship where to move to.
How? How did anybody think that this was acceptable?
I think they're just trolling us at this
And according
point.
to Nirathem, the Rock is the best character in the book, so better than Leox Gayasi.
I believe that. I believe that's probably
here's
true.
The truth. You guys want to know the truth? I was one of Leox's testicles, and I was removed, and I grew because I was a cancerous testicle.
So Rock, tell us about where you're from. Where were you born?
I just told you.
Oh my God, Thundercat just said he can't wait for the cosplays to
from
start.
Yassi's cancerous testicle.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
Yes. So I'm actually not a rock.
I think Harvey Cthulhu has some competition here.
Who?
How?
I'm all the Star Wars.
I like all the Star Wars.
Well, I'm all the Star Wars.
Because, of course, it makes sense. You're going to take a 2,000-pound rock with you everywhere you would go.
I am the rock. I am the island.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's some pretty sad stuff right there.
I'm really fun at parties.
Chats.
Really
we're
fun
gonna go
parties.
through before we call it the night here.
Except for pool parties, I'm not too popular at pool parties.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to swim. Yeah.
Well, you step on me and it hurts.
All right. On the note of rock, Rollocat says for €5, look out paper, and I wonder where's the scissor.
Yeah.
And the Troch 365 says, I have no hope for the MCU going forward. It's going to be like sequel Star Wars and bad robot Star Trek.
We already got these two.
Probably, yeah. And Warwolf 1 says, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to right now is Godzilla versus Kong.
That was where we left off.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
It looks surprisingly good. It really does.
I'm really excited. I've never seen one in the theater, so I really, really want to go to the theater and see this one.
We will.
And
I like how you say that, theater.
Theater.
That's my favorite song. We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
What about The Rock Stops Here?
That's a good one. My father likes like a Rolling Stone.
And then the Trenchman says, give X-Men back to Vaughn. And Marvel should be so smart. I don't think they are.
Fuck.
Yeah. And Cesario JPN says for $5, I can't wait until Geo the Rock teams up with his ally, Princess Scissors, against his mortal enemy, Darth Paper. Execute order 8.5 by 11.
Nice. It's a good one, Rob.
Fucking scissoring.
That's a great one.
Now that song stuck in my head again. The goddamn Az song. Fucking scissoring.
Joseph Citadino says, do you think Cecil to audition for She-Hulk? If he auditioned unmasked and under an alias, he stands a good chance of getting the part.
Hello. He would get it. There is no doubt.
I auditioned and they said my skin wasn't green enough.
He'd get the part. I feel like.
And my tits were too big.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was the problem. We can't have a.
God, I can't even think like Cecil. Holy shit, that's scary.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I don't know. Just all of a sudden it just came out of me.
Yeah.
Hello.
And Take Your 610 says, geode species for centuries were kidnapped from their homes and made into countertops. Then the First Order tried to kidnap them, but alas, too heavy.
I got a story to tell.
That's great.
You just throw them into the ocean, and they'll never be able to. That's the most easily defeatable enemy in Star Wars history.
The Empire has countertops, and they know what they did. I will avenge thee. Just when you're not looking.
Oh Lord.
And with that, we are fully caught up. So
actually, you know what? The Geode should Cecil should be voicing Geo. That'd be hilarious. Hello.
That would be hilarious.
Do you think
Leox?
Do you think this poor Claudia Gray person sitting like, why are they making fun of me? Why are they making fun of my rock?
That ain't nothing yet, because I'm halfway tempted to read the book just so I can review it.
Well, you read one of the other ones, didn't you?
You will be taking one for the team, but I will definitely watch that. I will. If anybody does a review on it and they're brave enough to read it, I will watch it, because there is no way I could take the time to read.
Well, didn't you read the other book, Andre, that came out?
No, you crazy?
I thought you did.
No, are you
comic.
crazy? No, are you crazy?
I thought you got one of the comics in the mail. Someone sent you.
Yeah, someone donated the first comic to me. Like I flicked it and I couldn't like read it in detail. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was so crap. And this thing here isn't even a comic. I wish it was. But yeah, read it on stream. The worst parts. Carrie says, well, there are people who wants me to read audiobooks, so that might be like a good start.
Well, I was going to say you should do the reviews on Patreon since you hadn't done anything on that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I should probably do that. Yeah.
Even if they're just audio versions, who cares? Just do your own reviews.
Yeah. Maybe I can read it out loud for Patreons. Be so.
I got a piece of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter.
I got a rock.
I got the latest Star Wars character.
I got a rock. Yeah, actually, now they just retroactively made Charlie Brown's Halloween candy worth fortune.
The latest Star Wars.
That is so ridiculous. I cannot believe we are literally having to sit and talk about a rock.
Now I know what I'm going to do. If somebody has a kid out there who happens to sound like Charlie Brown, record him saying, I got the latest Star Wars action figure and send it to me, please.
Oh, man, unbelievable.
We're going to do some audio editing later, Rob.
Oh my God.
I got bubble gum. I got 5 cents.
I have to say, it's a really sad state on pop culture today. Like that, the most fun that we have is discussing Amber Heard's poop and a rock character in Star Wars.
It's so ridiculous.
I'll do one better. If you're a grown adult woman and can do a Charlie Brown voice, please send it. But yeah, I'm all for equal opportunity on that one.
I have a 5-year-old nephew, but I won't be able to get him to say that. The kid does so ADD. He just bangs away on his phone and screams, "Ah!" I'm not making
okay. Then why bring it up, Rob? Bring it up?
That's the way my brain works.
You had a Timmy moment. It's okay.
Timmy.
Yay!
And I think we could all use some koalas in the rain before.
Yeah,
surely can. But I think before we go, we got to give WandaVision an overall rating. Would we give them a minimum effort?
I don't know.
Or is it lazy?
I think did they actually try? I don't know.
First half seemed all right, and then it just went. Here we'll even it out. We'll give them a board corgi.
Okay.
Board corgi. Oh,
very nice.
He's so cute.
All right. So with that, Andre, was there anything else you wanted to plug, or I think was this last? Oh, we got last.
We got one last super chat from Willie, who says, "I'll do a review of the Rock Guy's book in Star Wars, but my prize is to be on a panel with you guys. Signed, a Trollop."
Willie, we'll see what we can make happen there. I don't know about a roundtable, but like we were just discussing here, maybe Andre will do like an audio review.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what we can work out.
That means no, Willie.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying he can maybe join Andre on the Patreon thing. Maybe
I'm just messing around. That's totally.
I know we're just messing with Willie. But all right, with that, I don't think I can get away with it anymore because we've gotten so many koalas in the rain. Let's do this thing. Take care, everybody. Be good to yourselves and each other, and we'll see you in the morning.
Koalas in the rain. Koalas in the rain. No fucks given.